We know that PJ Fleck is a communicator, so of course recruiting comes pretty easy to him and therefore the Minnesota staff. And we see it in the upgrade in the recruiting rankings in recent years. We got Daniel House on the line from Gophers Guru to break down at 2021. Daniel, how you doing today?
Doing well. It's signing day, Christmas, post-Christmas, I guess now. Everybody was all excited yesterday singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." So
Yeah, there you go. We're inside 10 days and number 8 class in the Big Ten, number 27 in the nation. And just look back a couple of years prior to PJ Fleck, and those numbers were typically in the mid 40s to mid 50s. And he certainly upgraded the haul each and every year. Your highlights from this class?
this class is one of the top rated classes in the history of Gopher football. PJ Fleck having a 4-year high in recruiting through this 2021 class. And I think the unique thing about this group specifically is how connected they are. PJ Fleck met with us yesterday and talked about how many of the parents were so influential in getting other guys to join them. Stephen Ortiz Jr. is obviously the highlight of the class. Defensive back from Arizona, 4-star signee, very versatile, bulldog type of mentality, probably comes in and plays the nickel position for the Gophers, one that's very important in Joe Rossi's defense with the run fits and being matched up a lot of times with the most dynamic receivers each and every week. Ortiz was definitely the highlight of the class and brings a lot of versatility. You could play nickel, safety, outside corner, all the different spots. And you just fire up his film and you see that DB swagger that you're looking for at that position. And then not only that, but really investing in the defensive line. That's probably the highlight of the class for me, is seeing the versatile skill sets that they have up there. They went to Washington and landed Jacob Schuster, a 4-star defensive tackle. He is explosive. That's the first thing that I noted when I was watching his film is he's able to get off blocks. He's very disruptive, makes a lot of havoc plays, just great at getting leverage inside. And PJ Fleck has talked about him coming to Minnesota with his brothers, and he'd never been to Minnesota before, decided to just take his own personal tour with his brother because they can't do anything due to the pandemic. So he was able to come up and get a look at it and was convinced to come here and play. So Jacob Schuster, probably one of the more exciting players of this class, and Devin Eastern from Shakopee, Minnesota, defensive end, powerful build, 6'6" frame with 280 pounds on it. He's working with Mike Morris, former long snapper for the Vikings, just to get ready for the jump up to the next level. And I think his physicality, where he's at, he could come in and probably make an immediate impact for the Gophers right away. And then not only that, but just looking at what they were able to do with Luther McCoy at the end to round out the defensive tackle class, just being able to get someone who can play 3-tech or 5-tech with a lot of length. He's pretty raw at this point, but then Austin Booker at the defensive end position from Indiana. I know a lot of people in the college football community were talking to me saying this guy is very underrated. I love watching his film because he's just got so many different pass rushing moves for a young rusher. So again, Gophers just trying to build up that defensive line group, get that where it needs to be, and continue building in the trenches, which I think is important in the Big Ten.
MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Of course, subscribe, hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live. Smash that like button. That helps us as well to build the channel. You can catch Daniel House's work at gophersguru.com. We'll have the banner up here again in just a second. So if we go down the list, any gems down the list that aren't necessarily heralded, but based on the scouting reports and the tape that you like?
Darius Green, he's a safety from Georgia, runs a 10.62 100-meter on the track team. And you see that speed when you watch his film. He's added some more physicality, able to come down into the box and make a lot of plays, some big hits on the perimeter on his highlight tape. And I like the idea of how he fits in the system because you can play him in the deep half, you can bring him down in the box. Has that versatility that's needed in this defensive scheme. Flew under the radar out of Georgia. Minnesota's had a lot of success recruiting Georgia. They also got Lemecki Brockington, the wide receiver out of Georgia. Rashad Bateman was the last Georgia product to come to Minnesota. So Lemecki Brockington, watching his film, I thought super explosive in space, able to use him in the screen game a lot, but also he runs really good routes, specifically in the red zone. His releases down there, able to adjust and make a lot of catches in traffic. I know the coaching staff is really excited about Mccoy, and with the current state of the wide receiver group where it's at right now, Mccoy is a guy that could compete for some playing time as well. And PJ also talked a lot about Justin Wally, cornerback and running back down in Mississippi, Mr. Football down in that state, beat out Mississippi State for him. I watched the tape and I'm like, this guy could be a running back. Like he was so electric on that side of the ball, but he also was blocking punts, blocking kicks, doing a lot of things, just making plays. And he also stood out on defense as well, playing defensive back. So PJ Fleck's excited about the options that they have with Wally. When he gets up here, they can, see what type of position they want him to play at. But I would guess he's a cornerback. So those are just a couple of guys that maybe flew under the radar. Darius Green is the guy I don't think is getting enough buzz right now.
Daniel, I looked at the map of where the commits and the signees are coming from. There wasn't anything very obvious that was different to me from previous years. So to account for the upgrade again from the mid 50s to 40s to the mid 20s under PJ Fleck, what's been, besides just getting a higher grade of athlete from those areas, has there been a certain pipeline or approach that's worked?
Well, Illinois has been the area where they've really recruited hard. I mean, you were able to see Jamison Gears, a tight end. This was their top target. Gears was the guy they wanted. They're only going to take one tight end. He had a lot of Big Ten offers, Iowa and Wisconsin, I believe. And he was the type of player that they're looking for, physical in the running game, but also can be a mismatch in Mike Sanford Jr.'s offense. Then you see Cameron James from Chicago, went to the same high school as Derrick Rose, a big athletic offensive tackle that still has room to grow physically. They were able to also get Marquise Irving, running back down there, one of the highest rated running backs in the country in this cycle, ranked 13th nationally, I believe, one of the top players in Illinois, elusive, able to break a lot of tackles. His vision is really good, so he fits super well in the outside zone scheme that the Gophers like to utilize. So they were able to go down and really make a lot of noise down in Illinois and steal a lot of talent. And Athan Kalikmanis, the quarterback, one of the first guys to commit a 4-star, lots of upside, 6'4" frame with a big arm, definitely has the dual threat ability. He can run and be used off the zone read game and maybe add some new concepts to the system. He'll get a year under Tanner Morgan and then can elevate up into the starting role after that.
We talk college football here each and every day. Please like, comment, share the videos on social media. For the people that don't know that we're here, hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live, which is typically multiple times per day. Daniel House, got to track him at gophersguru.com. Of course, if you're a Gophers fan, that doesn't need to be overstated. But even if you just love college football, want to keep track of the rising programs, check out Daniel's work at gophersguru.com. So we've got a game coming up on a Saturday against Wisconsin. So Minnesota with the opportunity to pull back Paul Bunyan's axe after gaining it for one year there in 2018. How do you expect this game to be approached from the coaching staff in regards to it could be a glorified scrimmage up to, hey, we're going full throttle. It's a rivalry game. Let's close it out good. And maybe we'll see what the bowl situation is.
You know what, Mark? This year is so unique. Like, I don't even think people realize all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and trying to pull this season off, and just the mental toll it has on the players and physical toll as well. Just all the things going on behind the scenes. So to cap off the season, you made it to the end. You're able to play for the Axe. They were able to move that game into Champions Week and shuffle things around, and everyone's excited to play that game. I mean, the players were really, really disappointed when they were unable to play for the Axe, because it's obviously one of the big things that you come to Minnesota for, is to play Wisconsin for the Axe. That rivalry is very important to a lot of people. And I look at this matchup specifically with Wisconsin. I mean, I never thought that I would see Wisconsin's offense analytically drop to the 91st rated rush offense in the country in terms of efficiency. They're 112th overall right now, 110th in passing. They're passing the ball about a 50% clip, which is something you don't see very often. And it tells you that a lot of times they're playing from behind. They've went through the gauntlet of this schedule with Northwestern, Iowa, Indiana, didn't score many points. Their offense has been unable to convert in the red zone. So I look at this game, and it's interesting because Wisconsin's offense is the weakness. Minnesota's defense is the clear weakness. They're at the bottom of a lot of really important metrics on that side of the ball. But then you've got Minnesota's offense, which ranks 21st in offensive efficiency, and Wisconsin's defense, which has the best rush defense in all of college football. And that's the thing that I take away from this game is, like, you're going to have to pass to open up the run instead of running the ball consistently, running the ball a lot on early downs. You're going to have to really rely on Tanner Morgan in the passing game to open things up and get you to the point where you're able to get into a rhythm against the Badgers.
If you want to get past the cliches and the obvious breakdowns that you find so prevalent on the internet, go to gophersguru.com with Daniel House. He's got some great work there, as you can hear in the slice that he gives us on a regular basis here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Daniel, we appreciate you stopping by. I know that you've got a ton going on.
Hey, thanks for having me.